Hi, I'm Reba Hervis, Artistic Director at Overshadowed Theatrical Productions. Welcome to this week's From the Wings from New York. It had been a goal of ours since last year when we were here to make sure that we went to see Back to the Future. So we go to the box office and I said, here's my reservation number, but my tickets didn't download. And he goes, that's okay, I'm going to upgrade you. And it was perfect.
Such great seats.
Perfect.
Oh
if
word.
you go to see Back to the Future, you need to sit somewhere close to the front where you can be immersed in the theming that goes
and even the lights
there.
that go on in the ceiling.
So Back to the Future has been nominated for 2 awards. One for Best Actor in a Musical, and that went to Roger Bart, the man who portrays Doc in this. And then it also got another award for Scenic Projection and Set Design.
Which makes so much sense.
And it was amazing.
And by an award, it's a nomination.
So did I say award?
But we'll
sorry.
get to see. We'll get to. I mean, I would not be surprised if we're going to get the award because goosebumps.
However, we were so excited to see Casey Likes in this play because we've seen a lot of trailers with him, and he looks like Michael J. Fox. And I think that sometimes when you create such an iconic role, and I think we've talked about this before, Julie Andrews in Sound of Music, it's really hard to kind of break past that and create something that's new because those of us who love the character, we grew to love the person who created the character. And so now all of a sudden, it's hard to put yourself in that and to be nothing like that. The minute he stepped out on stage, our understudy, we all literally went, he's nothing like Michael J. Fox.
We enjoyed it.
We did.
He was a phenomenal actor, but even during intermission, the murmurings around us, I heard like 2 to 3 people communicating throughout, being like, he's a great actor. He's just not the vision. And that's when it comes to nostalgia. You can't mess with nostalgia. Let's start with acting then.
Okay,
so for him, we were disappointed. We got into it. He did an amazing job, but it wasn't nostalgic.
Nope. And that for this musical, because that's what it is for us, that hurt.
Yeah, I think that knocked it down a couple pegs.
Yeah. Roger Bart got a nod for the Tonys. He got a nomination.
Doc.
He got a nomination.
Yeah.
What did we think about him?
Okay, so I didn't like him.
I didn't either.
I felt like, and I told you this, I felt it was like he's playing Beetlejuice. Almost, and even some of the songs, Future song, I was like, this just feels like Beetlejuice. And he's like kind of crazy, and it just felt like Beetlejuice. And when I think of Doc, it is kind of that energy, but it's different.
Even some of his mannerisms and sexual moves that he made, I just felt like, I don't want Doc to be that kind of character. He was not iconic enough for me. And unfortunately, again, just like what we said about Michael J. Fox, I think we feel the same way about the Doc character. However, the man that played George McFly, Hugh Coles, I can't believe he didn't get a nomination. We're so glad we went to see it. Oh my gosh.
Vocals.
Physicality.
His laugh. Everything about this man.
So good, and he looked iconically enough like the movie that it was okay for us, right?
Yes.
He did this awkward thing with his step, and then he did these things where he's trying to dance. But then the transformation from when he becomes a successful George McFly was like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
It was acting. And it is so every good way ever. Yes. It's phenomenal.
So
phenomenal.
True. What did you think overall about the music?
I liked it. I think maybe there was one song that was like a bop. I wouldn't sing along to it. I felt like the music carried the story in a very good way. There would be the song would come up. There were some songs that took me out of it, I think. They just kind of...
They were weird.
Yeah. So it's Universal who owns the rights to these. And if you notice, there's a trend. Universal has a ton of rights to a ton of iconic things. So they're getting into the musical theater business. So... I think it felt like that a little bit. It felt like they were like, we have Back to the Future. Everyone's going to come see it because it's iconic. Let's throw together a musical. Now, I'm not saying this is not a good musical, but I'm saying the music just didn't feel and maybe this is like artistic, but inspired. Like it felt like they were like, okay, make a song up about this. Okay, they made a song up about it. It's like, is it a catchy song? No.
Yeah. It's different than the days in the past where Roger and Hart or Gershwin
or Sondheim,
right? Like literally are composers and lyricists that like care about the music, and then the story comes around it. And this was like they took a story and then they're like, well, let's find a couple songs to make it go with it.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, it was kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Which was okay because
it's supposed to be, and I think it worked for them.
Did you like the first half or the second half better, or did you feel a difference? Because I did. I felt like when we got to the second half, except for the big number at the beginning of the second half, I felt like it settled in for me, and I enjoyed the second half better. It felt more cohesive, and maybe it's because the songs were from the movie at that point.
I think I agree.
A lot of them.
Yep.
And so it felt like, oh, okay, finally we're going to sing The Power of Love.
Yes.
And, things like that.
And a lot more iconic moments, whereas the beginning was kind of trying to lead you, and their own writing.
Right.
But the ending was more the script writing. Like that. Yes. I do agree.
Yeah.
I do agree.
As a director, and this is what I was thinking as I'm watching it, I'd be like, if somebody handed me the script, I'd go, how in the world am I going to do that on my stage? Make it seem like this DeLorean is going to go back to the future. How am I going to, have all the fancy gears and everything? And 100%, this did not lack with that. It was brilliant. It definitely won me over. So even the things that I didn't like, I would say, it's okay. It was so fun.
They used projection.
Yes.
But honestly, like in my opinion, never once was the projection just like, oh, it's projection. Like it enhanced it, and it was the way that projection's meant to be. It's supposed to enhance the scene, not make it an easier scene so that your set designer doesn't have to design something.
Right.
Like I think that a lot of times nowadays they use the projection to take like, oh well, it's gonna be easier to do projection. In this, you were not thinking, oh, they just made this easier on themselves. It was masterful.
Oh, just like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the star of this story is the DeLorean.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And it comes out of nowhere, and it disappears,
Yep.
and it raises,
Yep.
and literally, there are so many moments that the car does something that all of a sudden we're like, how did they do that?
Because there's what you expect it to do, and then what you don't expect it to do, it does, right?
100%.
And what you didn't think they could do on a Broadway stage, they do.
It is incredible.
And it's because they have people have mastered their craft in every area.
And it used to be just Broadway was like, okay, we have the costumes, we have the lighting, we have the this and that. But now technology and graphic design and movie making skills, they're all added together. The artists have come together to make such a beautiful community. And this show proves that.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there anything we should warn our audience about?
Sexual content, for sure. Some abuse, I would say, when it comes to near the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the whole Biff character that you may remember.
Pretty nasty.
Yeah.
There was language. I think, but it's pretty much, it stuck very true to Back to the Future.
Yes. What would you rate it?
I would rate it a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. There were parts, especially the leads. I think it's coming to Chicago, which is exciting. So I'm gonna see it in Chicago.
And I actually can't wait to see it in Chicago and see, because they're not going to be able to build all the things in a place that they come in for just a couple weeks when they've had a home on New York for such a long time. So it'll be really interesting to see what we don't get. For me, it had a couple holes with the music and the character of Doc that I was just like, I'm missing something. So I think I would give it a 7 as well. However, I'm saying that it doesn't get a 10, but I really do think you ought to go see it because it's just so
my word,
fun.
it is so worth.
We are so happy because we have a lot of sad things that we saw on this trip, and this one. It would just made our hearts happy.
It is quirky, it is fun, it is unexpected, and it's what you expect it to be in every good way.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So until next time, this is just me
and me
talking to you
from the wings from New York.